Hi, I'm Louise Crooks, the Keys to Clarity coach, and today I'm going to be sharing with you 3 steps that are going to help your clients to say yes when it's appropriate in your strategy session, or as I prefer to call it, your complimentary consultation. And this could be in person or by phone, depending on what kind of business you're in. So the first one is going to be having taking the opportunity a couple of days before your conversation to send out an email, asking them a couple of questions to think about before they come to that conversation. And you can decide what those are. I tend to like to ask them what they're going for, what their obstacles are, challenges, things that I want to talk about in the conversation. So you can think about 3 questions you want to ask them, send that to them in an email beforehand, and what that does is then it serves as a reminder about that conversation you're going to have, so you're less likely to have no show-ups. And they start to think about what it is that they're going for and what they want from the conversation too. And that's really helpful. So it starts to prime them for that conversation. So that's step number 1. And step number 2, and I'm going to refer to my notes here because I have a few things I want to share with you. So step number 2 is creating a structure for your call. And a structure is really helpful because it creates a safe place, a kind of a process to go through for your client and for you. So it's really fine to actually tell your client that you have a structure for these calls or these conversations, and you're going to follow that structure. You wouldn't necessarily tell you you're going to follow that structure, but you're going to. I'll tell you in a moment what that looks like. So here's a structure that you would use for a call, just to give you a sense of how to set that out for yourself. First of all, we would look at the connection. So it's about establishing rapport in that first part of the conversation, which is to get them to talk a little bit about themselves, their situation, what's going on for them in their business, and what they are experiencing, and anything they'd like you to know about them and their experience. Then the second step in the structure is going to be talking about where they want to go and the short-term goals that are going to help them get there. So you might ask them if they have 3 short-term goals that they see as a way to help them get to the vision that they've created, and really tap into that vision. The third step in your structure of your conversation is going to be asking them about their challenges and their obstacles. What's getting in the way? And the 4th step would be, how do they see your services as a way to support them? What do they see that being? So for me, it would be, how would you see my coaching as a support to your getting to where you want to go? And then when they've completed that, and really what they're doing in that 4th step is they're reiterating and reconfirming what they think they're going to get from the experience. And this is a really important step. So by the time they're finished with that, you can then extend the invitation to them, and that is the 5th step. So it would be a very natural segue then into saying to them, look, I feel a great connection with you. I think that I'm definitely equipped to help you, and I'd really like to work with you. What do you say? And what do you think? And they will then they will then tell you what they think, and most of the time it's going to be, yes, this sounds fabulous. And then they're going to ask you how you work, etc., and you're going to tell them about your packaging and pricing, and that's a whole other conversation. So that's the structure of your call: connection, vision and goals, challenges and obstacles, how they see your services supporting them, and the invitation. So that's step 2, your structure for your call. And then step 3 is, there are 3 important things I'd like you to remember. One is, when you create that structure, I want you to create a nice little written loose format of a script for yourself to refer to, so that you're not sort of stumbling along the way trying to think what comes next in that conversation. It really helps to have that. And even as an experienced coach, sometimes you can go, hit a blank or a wall, and you really want to have that opportunity just to glance at your structure and not falter. So make sure you do that as a way to support yourself through that conversation. The second thing I want you to remember is to introduce the structure of the call to them, and that's what I was referring to earlier, is when they sit down with you, you can say, I normally have a certain format that I follow with this conversation. Would you mind if I shared that with you? And so you might tell them a little bit about, what steps you're going to take them through, and then you say, and by the end, we're going to decide together, whether this is the right next step for you, and decide whether working together is the appropriate step. How does that sound to you? And then they'll say yes, and then you have their permission to take them through that whole process and share what you're going to share with them at the end. And having their permission and enrollment in that makes such a big difference. So that's the second important thing I want you to remember. And then the third thing, and I think this is the most important thing, sometimes we might feel very needy coming to that call. A lot of you are going to be feeling that way perhaps. You want to get that financial flow into your business. So yes, you want to get them as a client, and that's very clear, and you can put that out to the universe. And then set an intention to have a meeting of the souls, so to speak, with that call or that conversation, that the highest good will come out of that call, and set that intention, and then let everything go. Let the need for the financial, for them signing up as a client go. You've already set that intention. You only need to tell the universe that once, and then just let it go. Don't hold on to it in the conversation. And when you set the intention for the highest outcome, the highest good for both of you, you can then relax into that conversation and have the flow and ease that comes with that, without having an agenda. So those are the 3 steps that I wanted to share with you. I know that's a lot of information. You might want to rewind and replay some of this, but I hope you enjoyed it and got a lot from it. And I want to share with you that this is just a taster of some of the things that we're going to be covering in my new Get More Clients Coaching Club. It's starting next Wednesday, and I really hope that you want to come and join us. It's going to be a wonderful place, filled with your like-minded peers, people in the coaching and healing profession, wanting to grow conscious businesses and know how to find their clients, how to reach them, how to attract them, and how to enroll them. And there's so many different pieces to that. So each time we come to the call in the group coaching club, you'll be able to ask the questions that you need to have answered in the moment to keep you growing and learning and filling your practice. So if you're interested in learning more about that, you can go to keystoclarity.com, keystoclarity.com/events/GMCCC. That's Get More Clients Coaching Club, GMCCC. So keystoclarity.com/events/GMCCC. All right, I hope I didn't overwhelm you with too much information, and that it was all really juicy for you. And hope to see you in the club next week. Okay, take care and have a great weekend.